I was supposed to assess the coolant leak. Coolant leak wound up being a busted hose down here. It's kind of tucked in the back here. There's our busted hose. You can see that the split right there. So the hose busted. When I got more of the story, when he went home, when he got it towed home, the car wouldn't start up anymore. And hence is why you see the distributor cap off. This is what's inside the distributor cap. Shorted that out. Pulled this off. This is what we got. But this has been a year. It's been sitting. So who knows? So again, I was supposed to originally fix the coolant leak. No start conditions when I got it, and started diagnosing what was going on, why I don't have any fire. And I checked the coil, which is down here. And I don't want to go too crazy in depth of what I did, but I was getting 12 volts of ground, but the coil wasn't working. Like I could try to artificially activate the coil by charging it up, and it wasn't doing anything. So I'm hoping that coil isn't burnt out also. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna look for I'm gonna get a signal from here first, because I checked the waveform on that and it sucks. It's like a 5 volt high, 5 volt low, and it's the waveforms are choppy. I'll just have to show you that. I mean, I don't want to get too terribly complex, but we're gonna replace this hose first. And I need to put a reference point on this distributor so we could change the distributor out without having to, do any type of timing or anything. And I'm looking down here. Okay, there's our mark there. I just have to put a timing light to it. So I'm gonna mark the location of where the distributor currently is. The rotor button here. This is a long car. So where it is here. So I'm gonna put a mark, like that'll be my reference point. Line it up with the straight edge and just put a mark on the valve cover there. So when I do pull it out, I can put it back in the same position. And at the same time, while I got that out, hopefully I'll have adequate room to change that hose. Which just looks like it's gonna be a pain in the butt. It looked like I can access the hose clamp from the bottom. Looks pretty tight in there. So I'll probably have to take this accessory bracket off here and then get under there and try to get the hose clamp out and pull it out. Then I have to go match a hose up and get it replaced. Probably have to cut the fit. All right, let's get to work.
Pinch my finger against that screw. Against the bracket here. Can you literally get a Phillips in here? I wonder if I'll be able to make another marker straight ahead though. Could I? Like here? I'm gonna do that. Do that also. I got that lined up. So I'm just gonna put it here also. I think this will probably be better. Alright, so we're gonna pull this out if it'll come out. these old cars. These aren't gonna come off easy, and it does have a mark here, so that's cool. So I can put the timing right, exactly where it was. All right, so and let's come off. Let's see how it's gonna come off. Oh, well, it's popped off. Oh, well, I thought that shit broke too. What's it? Back in line. Split. Alright, be very careful. This pull straight off. That long. It's like if you don't need to pull it off, don't do it. Oh. Alright, so we got a lot more room. Here's a better view of the broken hose. Split pretty bad, or as bad as it's going to get. And then the belt for the fan is non-existent.
Luckily, the water pump isn't shot.
.12mm here. It's going to be 12. And we're like 14's there. So all these are different sizes. One will go at the bottom, the shorter one goes to the left side of this, and there's another short one right. Alright, let's see if this fly out. Okay, cool. Good. Alright. You can tell which ones go where.
Change the oil. Ah, shoot. I don't want to clean that mark off. That was a mistake. I can still see it though. Yeah, I can still see where I need to put it. It's cool. I was trying to get it cleaned off so I could make this a little easier. So it's not so bad getting this one. It's this one. And this is like sitting direct behind that cover. Let's see if it'll show. So it's not gonna be a problem. It's just this one. If I can get it up there. I don't know if it picked it up or not, but I'm gonna try and cut the clamp off from the side if I can get something down in there. Maybe I can get my Dremel down in there and break it off, and what I'll do, just put a hose clamp on it. But this is going to be impossible to overcome this. I hope it picked it up.
With WD-40 and rubber, a lot easier. So that's it. Whew. Man, it's challenging. Hit it with some brake cleaner and new hose and clamp should keep that sealed pretty well. I'm gonna take this to the parts store and match it up.
All right, I got the hose installed. That went in with no problem. Well, sort of had to fight a little bit. I had to get a miscellaneous hose. This was the part number I got, 22165, or either the C2165. But it had an end that was 90 degree, like it had this elbow in the same dimensions. And I was able to put some universal hose clamps on there once I matched this up and get it fitted. So that's on there. The belt I'm not going to change today because I got a higher quality one. I was going to put a cheapo on there, but why put a cheap one on there and it's on the far back when you can just put a high quality one on there. Plus I don't need to do anything with the belts right now anyway, because I'm not going to have it running that long. If it does start up when I put the new distributor in there, then I'll address the belts tomorrow, because the other one is on the delivery truck for tomorrow. So, or either later today. One of those. Either way, not a big deal. Not a huge priority. I also got to do the valve covers and stuff like that. So I'm not sure if I think if I put the distributor back in, I should have some space to get that screw right there. I think I'll be fine. I don't think I gotta pull the distributor to do the valve covers. So let's get the distributor in there and line it with our reference marks. We should be fine. Now, I was looking at the bottom of the distributor, make sure it didn't have like one of those oil pump drive shafts, just to make sure, just inspecting it. Not really that observant. Smooth in. But it doesn't, just a flat distributor. I'm just gonna get it pointed the direction we pulled it out. So I'm gonna have to pull this screw out because it's not gonna reach over here. Make sure it fits in. Okay, it fits. Make fits. Alright, let's see. This cord is pretty short. Hopefully it'll make it over there. Seems like it. I have to pull this one off too. Alright, so I went on Rock Auto and was looking at the other distributors because I thought maybe I got the wrong one, and all of them were short like this. So it kind of sucks for me because I might have to cut and increase the length of the wires because I can't compensate for what I got. But I'll tell you what I'm gonna do to see if it starts firing. I think I should be able to rotate the distributor and see if the coil starts firing like it's supposed to. So I'm gonna try that. You should hear tapping. Before I wouldn't even hear the fuel pump. Uh-oh. I didn't know I left that on. The battery probably dead now. Let's see. That battery is shot. Well, the coil's working now, so that'll explain the distributor. I left the key on, and when I hooked the jump box up, it started sparking. So let me show you that. it just started sparking. I'm gonna put some power back to the. See if I can zoom in. I'm gonna put some power back to the battery. So it's sparking. So to answer my question about the coil, coil's fine, so we should get a running engine once we get the battery charged up. So what I'm gonna do, I hate to have to do it, but I'm gonna I'm gonna have to cut here and just put some generic wire in between here, insulated, and put a another insulation on it. None of these are noise reduction. None of these have like a shielded wire on it, so I can put like a generic black, like a, I don't know, like a 16 gauge wire on here, 12 gauge, I think, something like that, something compatible. And while the battery's charging, I should be done with that, and we'll be back. Just throw this back in there and get it working. All right, I know there's gonna be some mixed feelings about wire tape, but you know, it is what it is. I should have plenty of wire to be able to make my connection now. I had a small mishap while, am I going the right way? While I was installing, and I was soldering the wires, because I had put the insulation on incorrectly, and I couldn't track my wires like I would need to. So
So you can go there. I'm not gonna go. Let me go under. Go under there. That's right. I probably should put a little bit of oil on here. Alright, so this is not correct. This should be facing forward. Hopefully won't, oh damn it, now when I do that, put my oily hands on that button. One of the gears should fall right into place. There it go. And then I could time it. Oh, nope. Gotta move it back over. There you go. So we're in time. Just gonna tighten it up right there. Get my oily fingers off of there for the connection. Now the battery, the ignition wire was going crazy when I put some power to the battery. Yeah, the ignition wire was going crazy when I put some power to the battery, and once the battery charged up a little bit better, I was able to move the rotor button, rotate the shaft, and it was able to, it sparked in the, as if it was going through a normal spark sequence. So coil works, everything's working. Timing did look a little different right there. Okay, there we go. It's closer to the hold down screw. I mean, this is a stock car, so I'm not gonna break my neck over like perfecting the timing. Well, I'm gonna take this dirty rag too. Got some brake cleaner on there. So this is the old distributor cap. I'm gonna pull this. You know what? I don't even have room. I do got a little room. I can get a screwdriver down in that corner to get that valve cover off. Okay. So I just gotta pull the distributor cap back off. Not a big deal. So we can pop this on here. 3. Facing that way. I should go ahead and put my wires on there, even though I'm going to change these. Let's go 2, 6 and 4. Yeah, I was imagining like diagnosing these older cars would be easier, but it's just a lot more time consuming to feel. Oh shoot. You definitely have to use an oscilloscope for these. Snug that down. And we'll put the, what's this, 1, 3 and 5. Alright, we'll see what happens. Now this belt, this should be fine. It's
pretty slack. Now it's got the recipe to start up. Will it start up? I guess as good as mine. So I think we're good. No better time than now for the belt to break. If it was going to screw up, put that on there. All right, let's see what happens. Now I did spray a overwhelming amount of brake cleaner in there when I was trying to initially get it started up, but it's running. Did the belt? I'm gonna have to look at the camera, see if the belt rotated. This belt is okay. I just need to replace that fan, this belt here. So other than that, shoot, she good. The wiring came out good. Installation, she's gonna be holding on for years, so I'm not worried about that. Now, only thing I gotta do is do a tune-up. I am going to pressure test this though, see if it holds adequate pressure. I can tell you it definitely wasn't doing it before, and it's just leaking out the cap here. So it was not building pressure at all. It's not going to hold it because this cap is jacked up. Look at that. That gasket here is gone. So, all right. Got the hose replaced. That didn't take too terribly long. I still got to put the bracket there, but I got to wait my belt. I guess in the upcoming days, I'll be able to do the valve cover and do the tune-up, oil change, and get this thing out of here. Biggest issue is these rubber hoses here. I'm gonna have to apply some heat. Take my time with all of them. Put the torch. What do they call that thing? The heater gun to it. Get that off. Ugh. All right, I'm carrying on with the repairs. I just went ahead and changed the oil, but I just want to show you what the waveform looked like. And there was two signals. This is just one of the two signals that I've retrieved. And you can see it start. Let's see if I focus. It started off with 5 volts, and it started to pull down the signal here. It tried to oscillate. It wasn't doing anything. And this is what it looks like zoomed in. It's just a poor-looking signal and erratic. There was another signal I was supposed to be able to get that was supposed to be like pulled up, if I recall. So one's supposed to be pulling down, one's supposed to be pulling up, and I can't remember if I took a screenshot of that one or not. So I think this was the one that was pulling up. One is supposed to stay up and one is supposed to typically stay down. So I think this was one of the original ones here. So this is the higher signal, and this is the lower signal here. But they all look choppy. It didn't look like it wasn't a good square wave. but that's what it looked like. That's what the PCM saw when it was trying to crank over. So pretty much nothing. As far as the oil change, I mean, I had to pull the battery out just to get my hand back there to pull the oil filter off. It's virtually no room, and the oil filter sits above the starter. Pain ass vehicle. Right, but long story short, we got the distributor in there. Pretty much, it was very simplistic. Just made a marker, and I didn't have to pull out the straight edge or anything, and it just pretty much fell into place. So that worked out very well. I wish I would have pulled the video out and started diagnosing this originally, but it was just like a spur of the moment thing. When I started assessing it, I was like, all right, it's here. Let me start looking at it. Tomorrow, like I said, I'm going to get the belts, get everything back on here so I can get it running. That heater hose at the bottom, it wasn't too terribly bad. It looked worse than what I imagined I would have to do. And man, I tell you, if I didn't have that Dremel, I wouldn't have known how I was going to cut that little clip off. Flushing the reservoir out, I mean, it was clogged up. It had oil. It looked like sludge built up in there. I got that cleaned up, and it was stopped up. It wouldn't circulate any fluid back to the coolant system. So I'm gonna get all that stuff straight while I got it here. And so when I give it back to him, we're not gonna worry about anything. And I'm gonna clean all this stuff. And he wants the AC diagnosed. So that might be something we'll probably look at. You know, assuming that it's something complex. It already has Freon in it. AC is just not working, so we might have to look at it and diagnose that. So we'll see. But other than that, hit that link, subscribe to the channel, stay informed, have that reassurance on my work. See you on the next one.